Emperor decides Hadrian de Val's status. Princess Aisling de Val's request for her cousin, Imperator Hadrian Augustus de Val, to be accepted into the imperial family has been denied. Emperor Arisa Lavigny de Val's decision was delivered to the Senate by Chancellor Anders Blaine. Her Majesty acknowledges that Hadrian is a de Val by blood, and offers royal pardons to him and his followers for previous crimes against the empire. However, she does not bestow upon him the title of prince, nor offer any formal position within the imperial family. Aisling de Val and Hadrian de Val both expressed disappointment, but agreed to accept the decree. The Senate has now ratified the Treaty of Parisa, which removes Nova Imperium's outlaw status in return for accepting Emperor Arisa's rule and contributing to operations against the NMLA. The Imperial Herald's political journalist Cassia Carvalho commented, "This surprisingly even-handed judgment is widely seen as bowing to pressure from the Senate, where there is much loyalty to Aisling de Val. Some interpret it as atonement, or regaining political goodwill, for the purge of Nova Imperium in 3305, which included the execution of several senators. The image this projects is of an empire coming together against the greater threat posed by neo-Marlinists. But there is speculation that an alliance between the two youngest de Vals may one day challenge the emperor for the throne." Coalsack Nebula campaign completes initial stages. Pilots Federation alert. An alliance initiative has successfully prepared the Coalsack Nebula for exploitation and reduced the Thargoid's presence. Traders delivered shipments of power generators, robotics, structural regulators and building fabricators, which will be used to help construct several new facilities in the region. The quantity of commodities received will result in construction of the following for the 26th of November 3306, Betancourt Base Starport in the Musca Dark Region PJPB61 system. Additional services: Interstellar Factor, Human Technology Broker, Encoded Material Trader, Extended Range of Multi-Purpose Ships. Call Point Starport in the Coalsack Sector VU0B66 system. Additional services: Interstellar Factor, Raw Material Trader, Extended Range of Multi-Purpose Ships and Mining Equipment, Fleet Carrier Administration. Hanu Arena Starport in the Musca Dark Region IMVC224 system. Additional services: Interstellar Factor, Range of Combat Ships and Weapons. Buring Port Starport in the Coalsack Sector KNSB49 system. Additional services: Interstellar Factor, Improved Outfitting Options, Manufactured Material Trader. Commodore Morag Halloran of the Alliance Defense Force delivered an update on the security procedures. Our efforts to clear the systems of Thargoid vessels were hugely boosted by independent pilots. Their skills have enabled our transports to travel to the nebula in relative safety. The Alliance is collaborating with several corporations to investigate the Coalsack Nebula for commercial and scientific sites of interest. Terrorists identified among Marlinist refugees. A screening process for Marlinist asylum seekers arriving in the Federation has located several members of the NMLA terrorist group. Vice President Brad Mitchell personally initiated a Federal Security Service operation to uncover any neo-Marlinist extremists concealed among the refugee population. The Vice President delivered this report to Congress. After standard ID scans flagged up some potential suspects, FSS officers employed more vigorous checks and interview techniques. They found 9 individuals who were active members of the NMLA. The terrorists have been transported to secure facilities for further interrogation, after which they will be handed over to imperial authorities. Our security services remain vigilant against this danger that the Liberal Party has invited into our communities. Vox Galactica featured a statement by Marlinist community leader Dr. Jenna Fairfax. "I am horrified to learn of NMLA hiding among us. These killers do not represent the principles of Marlinism, and we are happy to cooperate in expelling them." In related news, protesters on several federal worlds have warned of increased crime, terrorism, and economic damage unless all refugees are sent back to the Empire. Counter-protests have called for the Marlinists to be welcomed as fellow believers in democratic government. Terrorist bombing at Federal Starport. Pilots Federation alert. Multiple explosions have struck Kepler orbital in the Atropos system, causing huge damage and loss of life. Witnesses have observed signs of corrosion damage to the starport. This is characteristic of an explosive designed by the engineer Liz Ryder that deploys Thargoid caustic enzymes, and which was used in the bombings of Imperial starports in September. The NMLA has claimed responsibility for the attack. Its propaganda channels praised the 9 martyrs, a reference to the terrorist suspects recently arrested by the Federal Security Service. There were also warnings of further reprisals if the Federation impedes our cause. The FSS has since confirmed that the captive NMLA members were being held in secure facilities at Kepler orbital, which have been completely destroyed by the blasts. It is assumed that they were specifically targeted to prevent the prisoners revealing information about the paramilitary group under interrogation. Federal authorities are urgently requesting support from the galactic community to assist with repair efforts and to rescue survivors still trapped at the damaged station. Superpowers react to latest NMLA strike. Relations between the Empire and the Federation have deteriorated following a terror attack by neo-Marlinists against a federal starport. Kepler orbital in the Atropos system was bombed by the NMLA to eliminate several of its captured members, before they could reveal anything under interrogation by the Federal Security Service. Imperial Ambassador Imogen Luciana made this statement. The NMLA was obviously able to make use of its bomb-making factories within the LTT-1935 system. If the Federation had not resisted our investigation, we would have shut these down and prevented the attack. Our warning about the extremist threat went unheeded, and the Federation is now paying the price. We once again insist that all Marlinists are repatriated to the Empire. Ambassador Jordan Rochester has not responded, but did confirm that federal embassies in several Imperial systems have closed after violent anti-Marlinist protests placed diplomatic staff's lives at risk. In Congress, Vice President Brad Mitchell directly blamed Shadow President Felicia Winters for the recent attack. He accused her of laying out the welcome mat for terrorists by offering sanctuary to the Marlinists. Other congressmen argued that she had prioritized aid for Imperial rather than federal citizens. There is evidence that Winters is now losing some of her recently gained political capital. However, the Liberal Party's popularity remains high in the wake of President Hudson's alleged association with the destruction of Starship One.